everybody, Edo here, and this is Mutants, the card game. It is live on Kickstarter now, and the good folks at Lucky Duck Games sent it along. I've been playing and reviewing Lucky Duck games for quite a while now, and they are generally fantastic. The Kickstarters have been well handled, and overall, I'm super impressed with those guys, and I like them a lot. Sen-Fun Lim and Jessey Wright are also some great designers. Jessey Wright is a local guy, and he actually came over and taught me how to play, and we played some games and played some other games as well. And let me take you through it. So Mutants is based on some video game IP, I believe, having to do with gene pool battling. I know nothing about the IP. If you do, awesome. So, but the game is an interesting take on deck building and variable card powers in a way. It's a little bit like if you mixed Strife, which is a fantastic game with deck building. So what's happening? Hey, we're all in some Clash of Combat. We are going to be moving around this, player with the most points at the end of all the rounds wins, and you're going to be scoring points each round. But basically, we're in this little lineup, and different cards and abilities are going to move us forward and back, and opponents back in this fight. Player in first place gets the big number of points, player in last place gets 0, and anyone in between gets the smaller one, so that's essentially how you're scoring points. There's like this crush the competition where if all players are like in the back, and you can actually stack on top of players, and you're at the top, you like insta-win, because you just crush the competition. But let's just talk about the game for a second. So each player is going to start with the same 12 basic mutant cards. They all have abilities, but the key thing here is they have like one of these genes. And the genes are important because we're going to be leveling up genes. These also do plenty of awesome stuff. Then each player is going to have 3 piles from their advanced gene monster deck thing. And these are things that we can fuse 2 genes to buy and trade out. So essentially, you're going to, turn creatures and you're going to get new cards into your deck. And then when you draw them, they're more powerful, that kind of thing. And you can also bring them directly into play. The basic game has all these setup decks, which have like different vibes and feels, but it's definitely suggested that you do that intro. After that, you could do sort of fully constructed based on some rule parameters or a draft. So I think that extra layer adds to the sophistication of the game, but the core mechanics are pretty neat. Everyone's going to start with these guys, and the reason I compare it to Strife is you essentially activate a mutant from your hand into this main spot, and I'm having this facing you, and when you do that, you get their top ability. So they have an ability you get when you move it into the main spot. It can be draw a card, it could be move up the track, you could attack another player, and then they can block or get knocked back. So those type of free, the more advanced the creatures are, the more powerful, they could do 2 damage, different effects. But so there's an effect on enter. And then basically the cards start sliding in this mutant zone. And when they do, nothing happens when they move here, but as this fills up, they move into empty space. But once it fills up enough, which is like round 2, where you actually are pushing somebody out, that's when their second ability triggers. So it's neat to see that second ability triggering once it's been sort of, removed. The other thing, and then it's in the discard. So you're going to get an ability early and an ability later. Neat mechanic. The other thing you can do is by combining aliens, get a more advanced one, bring it in. He's going to your discard. When you do that, at the end of your turn, you can move something from your discard to your free zone for bonus points at the end of the game. So there's this nice flow from ability on enter, ability on exit, save for points if I want, or shuffle back in. You can also get a cheap buy on a card by moving it to your incubator by paying 1. And then rather than getting it immediately that turn, it goes to your top of your deck for your next turn. So if you don't have what you need, you can still incubate it in. And that's really the flow of the game. Again, there are attacks and blocks and things that happen, but it's mostly about this on, enter, on, exit ability flow and how you bring in new cards into your deck and roll it through. It's sort of got that designery feel to it. Like, it sort of feels like that game, like what would be sort of neat if we had a mechanic that did this and this and put it together. And the reality is it works. It's light. I mean, it's probably 45 minutes is my guess here in terms of what the box says. If it said anything, it doesn't, does it? This is a prototype box, but whatever it says, I'm going to... Oh, here it is. It says 45 to 60. I think that's probably about right. But what I would say is it's a light game. Like, it is a light, sort of mechanic-y, like, deck builder with these enter-exit effects. Sort of like Strife was on the light side, but that had perfect information. This one doesn't. And so it works, and I like the different abilities, and then as you move into the drafting or the construction, there's interesting stuff going on. And so it lives in a fun space, in sort of something you can think and play and enjoy, but not so heavy that you feel like you have to have this long-term commitment to the game, and like, it's not like a, you know, a longer term, you know, it's not like a deck grower. It's not like Magic where you're like constantly, you're sort of in this fixed system and it works. You know, but I do think it's card combat. So if you're not into that, you're not going to like it. It's pretty much dark mutants fighting each other to the death in combat. Rah. Anyway, so this is Mutants, the card game. Hey everybody, Edo here, and thanks for watching Gaming with Edo. Reviews over here on this playlist, League and Insider videos over here on this one. Subscribe, share, all that good stuff. But most importantly, play some great games. Thanks.